All right, Sag, I like it. It's basically saying to you that you have the ability to make the choice here. You can either continue to fight against something, or you can just let go of all of it here, make a choice, and go with the flow and things. But to me, it's like you need to stand up and say, you know what? No, I'm going to go my own way. I'm not going to do something that I feel like is not right for me. Then I feel like that's kind of where free will is coming in. So free will, sovereignty, independence, and free spirit, and then the river queen. Flow, letting go, and natural movement. This is saying that you need to go with the flow. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be very rigid in the way that you do things. But I feel like it's more about, you not fighting against something anymore. Free will is just reminding you that you have the ability to say yes and no without fear and guilt. Yes, I'll go along with this. No, I won't go along with this. But either way, it's about you kind of doing your own thing right now and not fighting against something anymore. All right, Sag. Here is your overall. The Hermit. I look at that and I think for a lot of you, it's like, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. I just want to be left alone. So with the Hermit being the overall, I kind of get the feeling that whatever is going on around you, it's like I just need a minute to myself right now. So needing to do the deeper soul searching, needing to shut some stuff out. It's not that you're isolating yourself. It's just leave me alone for a minute. Okay. So in the past, the Ten of Swords, and that may be why. I still don't think that, you're isolating yourself because of a painful experience in the past. I think that for you, you're realizing that, it's not worth fighting against anymore. You need to make the choice here to say, I deserve better than what I've experienced. So with the Ten of Swords, definitely we're talking about something that came to an end in a very difficult way. And I love this feeling of like drowning in it with this Ten of Swords. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about. This is why I don't feel like it's about isolation. I think that that's something you've already done to yourself. But with the Nine of Cups in the present moment, this is definitely with the Hermit, you focusing on what it is you really want. What is really going to make you happy? Being more realistic about, your wishes. But still, though, in the present moment, it's what is it that you feel like you've gotten? Where do you feel like your wishes have been fulfilled? Which, we'll see here. Future conditions, Temperance. Okay. I got you. I don't think that you're going to allow yourself to be forced to do something because you're wanting it. You've already experienced a painful ending in the past, a situation that came to an end in a really difficult way for you. With the Nine of Cups, we're talking about what you want, and then with Temperance, you're like, well, I could have what I want in this situation, but I really need to keep my own inner balance here. I can't, do anything based on an immediate emotional or passionate reaction, right? So that nice flow, that nice equilibrium, right? But this is you keeping yourself in check big time here with the Hermit. Your best path to follow, the Page of Pentacles. Okay. This I look at and I think you're going to have to take the information that you've learned based on this past experience here before, or at least take it into consideration here before you start working towards something. But it's also realizing that, you are going to be starting over here. There's going to be a lot of hard work that you're going to have to put in. But, it is beginning again, starting from the ground up, But I still see this as a good thing for you. It is about, something that you're wanting to get going and that you're wanting to start here. You're not going to get immediate results or immediate satisfaction. And I say that because of the Nine of Cups in the present moment here. And with the Hermit, I think that that's probably the best response, especially with Temperance, because there's a reason why you're kind of like holding back from going after something immediately here with the Nine of Cups. Yeah, I want this and I could have it, but considering my past experience, maybe I need to just kind of, chill out for a minute and think about what I'm doing here. What do you really want to build? What is it that you really want to get started? But there's definitely that opportunity there with the Page of Pentacles. Strength, yeah. Strength. Yes, I'm telling you. Wow, man. With the Nine of Cups, this is you for sure saying, I need to find the inner strength here not to immediately go after something because I want it. But it's because of the painful experience that you've had. It's almost like needing something immediately to make you happy, but you realize that that may not be the best thing to do. It's like learning a lesson here, But definitely, finding the strength to create the things that you want, absolutely. Finding the strength to have your wishes fulfilled or do what's necessary here. But there is definitely a part of you that's like, I need to hold off for a minute. It's not going to be that easy. It's not that simple. Your hopes and your fears, the Tower. Okay, so this is what I kind of feel like with this. I think that this is a situation that ended really difficultly. Oh my God, if I could talk right. A situation that ended in a really bad way that I think is coming back up for you. Things ended in a really bad way, but I kind of want this. I kind of want to start over. I want to work on things here, but I need to find the strength to kind of hold off, because the fear there is that everything is going to come crashing down all over again. Is it real or is this fake? That's kind of what I feel like with the Tower. That's a big fear. And for me, it feels like for you, I want this, but I can't do this to myself again. I have to find the strength to kind of think about this. Maybe you should be rebuilding something different, right? Based on what you know, what you have learned about this, about that past experience. Damn, Sag. I could have this, but if it's going to end up in a Tower situation, is it really worth it? And then coming out the Page of Cups. Boy. All right. So, and that may be why. That may be why you're kind of like, yeah, but the past is still very much an issue with this situation. So with the Page of Cups coming out here, we could be talking about somebody who is communicating new emotions to you. I don't think it's you doing that. I think that you're trying to kind of process that information and process everything that you've already experienced, possibly involving somebody who, is emotionally naive here. But we are talking about a new opportunity, absolutely, a new opportunity to build something. But your fear around this is huge, and it makes sense with the Ten of Swords being the past. But you are definitely, grabbing on your own power here with Temperance and going, yeah. I don't have to accept this right now. Maybe you need to think about the things that you should be building in your life rather than having, what you've been wanting, right? It's like, it ended really badly, but if it came back around, absolutely, that is what I want. But you know better this time, though. It's like you're really taking that into consideration before you make a choice. And then the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, so the focus there is on whether or not this is going to bring, that long-lasting security and stability here. And I think that for a lot of you, you may already kind of have that. And I don't think that that's something that you're willing to kind of like have disrupted or sacrifice in order to have what you want because of the circumstances surrounding this with the Ten of Swords and then you fearing the Tower. So first of all, the Seven of Wands. Looking at that with the Ten of Swords, this is you, kind of like defending what you're no longer willing to kind of deal with. I always look at this as like drawing the line in the sand. This is the bullshit that I'm not going to deal with anymore. But I think that this is also you being in a place where you've been like battling this or fighting this off because it was such a painful experience, being the Ten of Swords. But if it's coming back around, you know, and then looking at the Page of Cups, and we're talking about, you know, communication of emotions here. And this is you definitely standing up for yourself. Like, look, and I can't experience this again. I can't go through this again, no matter how badly it may be something that you want. And then Judgment, right? And again, you're reviewing it. You're looking at all of it. You're looking back at that entire experience. And you could make the choice to say, okay, that's what it was in the past. That doesn't mean it has to be the future. But is it something that you can really lay to rest? Because, you know, there's a lot with this. Looking at your fear with the Tower. But definitely being forced to kind of review all of it here before you make any kind of a judgment, no matter how good the communication sounds. And then the Ten of Pentacles. And again, you know, it's about your overall security and stability. That is what's more important to you right now. And for some of you, you may feel a little bit more secure with saying, you know what, I need to just kind of shut it out for a minute and give some time to myself to think about things. You know, I hear what you're saying. And there's definitely the acknowledgement of the emotions, but considering the actions of the past or the actions that someone else may have taken, you know, is this the secure thing to do? Or does this situation need to be, you know, over and done with completely here? Because you're still coming out with tens. I think that you're holding off. I think that you're holding off from wanting to accept something, no matter how badly you want it. And then Magic. I look at that and I think where gratitude and expansion is coming through is, you know, being grateful for the experience because it expanded yourself and your awareness. And it's definitely showing here with the way that you're reacting to this. But magic, right? Opening up to the magic of life, the magic of, you know, everything that has happened here and being grateful for that because it's like learning a lesson here. You know, and not in like a bad way, like you had to learn this or anything, but, you know, you are opening up now to seeing the situation for what it was and what it could possibly be. And it's not saying that, you know, that's what's going to happen here. But I think that that's enough for you to say, you know, I really want this, but I don't, you know. So again, being grateful for the experience, you expanding your awareness because of it, but then also seeing the magic in everything. And first light, begin a new cycle. Yeah, so you need to begin something new. This is not something that I think that you want to go back to. I think that, you know, at one point you may have really, really wanted that, but I think that you know better, especially with Strength being there because you're definitely being very reserved on this. So stay focused on what you actually want here, and you'll start to see the light of a new beginning or a new cycle for you.